What's going on, guys? This video is going to be on how to use the coolant pressure tester to pressurize the system to verify if there are leaks in the system that are causing pressure or coolant to leak out, or see if the system is in fact sealed up and does not have any problems. You would use this if you were overheating or if you were losing coolant and you're just trying to figure out where the problem might be. Now, first thing, this video is going to assume that everything is already hooked up. So the pressure tester is hooked up, and I'm just going to show you how to actually pressurize the system to see if it has leaks or does not have leaks. So this is my radiator here. This is my cap that goes on the neck of the radiator, and there's a tube that comes off of here and goes over to my overflow bottle, so when I release pressure, all the coolant goes into the bottle rather than spilling onto the floor. So we're going to start by pressurizing the little bladder that's inside of here. To do that, we slide this piece over to the left, we gently tighten the little knob down, just finger tight, and now we slide it back over to the right, to the bladder side. Now what we need to do is pressurize the little balloon that's inside of there to seal everything tight. To pressurize the balloon, we're going to pump this little pump until the needle goes over here to the yellow area that says bladder. It takes about one pump usually. There it is. The needle is right by bladder. That's got it sealed up now. Next part's going to be to slide this over, and what that does is switch us from filling the little balloon inside to actually pressurizing the whole cooling system. And you'll see my pressure drop back down to pretty much zero. So now I need to pressurize the cooling system. We have to figure out how much to pressurize it to, and that's where the radiator cap comes into play. On the cap, it said down here 0.9 bar, which is like a metric measurement of pressure. I converted it, that equals 13 psi of pressure. So after 13 psi, this cap releases the pressure and allows the fluid to go into the overflow bottle. What I do is pressurize to 3 psi above that, kind of the rule of 3. So we're going to pressurize to 16 psi and see if it maintains that. Hold this up so you can see it again. Takes us to about 5, 8, 12, 14, and 16 psi. And now what we're going to do is let this sit for 3 minutes. It's called the 3-minute test. If after 3 minutes, and we're going to start the time now, so we'll take out our cell phone, start the timer on it. If after 3 minutes I lose pressure, so I no longer have 16 psi, that tells me I have a leak. The next step would be to figure out where that leak is. If after 3 minutes it stays at 16 psi, that means my system's sealed up tight and I should not have any leaks that's allowing the coolant to escape. So we're going to fast forward here. We've got 3 minutes on the timer, and we're going to check this again. So after 3 minutes, we are now down to, looks like 13 psi. So what does that tell me? It tells me that I have a leak somewhere, and I have to figure out where that leak is. Now, just to prove this test, what I've gone ahead and done in this case is put a pin in my upper radiator hose, and that is where I'm losing my pressure at. If that pin was not there, if I did not have a hole here, it would have maintained 16 psi and it would tell me I don't have a leak. So in this case, I put a hole in the system, I lost pressure, and I now have to replace my upper radiator hose where there's a little pinhole leak. Once the 3-minute test is complete, I need to release the pressure. And to do that, go back to my little fitting on the radiator filler cap. I'm going to open the little knob, and you're going to see coolant come out of here. Now this is in the overflow tank, so all my coolant will go into the overflow bottle, and you'll see the coolant kind of spraying out of here. Into the overflow bottle it goes. Once it's done releasing all the pressure, give it a second here. Once it's done releasing all the pressure, we're going to push this over to the bladder side and release the little balloon that's inside of here to allow me to take this adapter off. So we'll slide it over, and there goes the rest of the pressure. So now the test is complete. We have verified that we have a hole. We lost about, I think it was 4 psi of pressure over 3 minutes. So that tells me I have a leak, and I now have to find that leak, which in this case was my little pinhole leak over there in the upper radiator hose. Hope you enjoyed. Talk to you later.